Honestly, shocked.
Top of the hour, and the breaking news is big. Vice President Kamala Harris, the presumptive Democratic nominee now for President of the United States, has selected Minnesota Governor Tim Walz to be her running mate.
Wow, Kamala Harris just picked Tim Walz to be her vice presidential candidate. That is unbelievable. I literally cannot believe it.
Nor can I. The Harris campaign picked somebody that could not quite possibly be a stronger candidate. There's so many things to like about his record. And very quickly, universal school lunches, which set off hilarious side-by-side memes of Walz, and Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who basically said child labor laws, they're extinct in our state. Under his governorship, Dems passed working Minnesotans to have up to 20 weeks paid time off for a baby, loved one, or their own medical issues. Fantastic. Should be more, by the way. He helped pass the highest child tax credit in the country, strong on unions, even joined the picket line at a parts distribution facility in Plymouth. Sean Fain, great dude, president of the UAW, said Walz and Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear were his top two for the VP. But in sports, there's something that I find rather interesting, and it goes back to that picket line.
Look, I coach these kids in football for years. They want to be part of winners.
Let's pause here. It is true. Walz did coach football. Earlier on in life, the groundwork, though, was laid when Walz, born in West Point, Nebraska, graduated in high school where he also played football. Via SB Nation, he started out as an assistant on both the basketball and football teams, working on the defensive side of the ball. And additionally, of course, he was a teacher.
Were you a position coach, offensive guy,
I was a defensive coordinator.
Okay. What'd you run?
Yeah, we ran a 4-4.
Okay.
We read guards at the time. I had really good athletes and good linebackers.
How are your corners?
They were good. That was an age when I was coaching that, it was unusual to see a 2,500 to 3,000 yard passer on the other side, but it was starting to come along.
So they were running the ball a lot.
Yeah.
Let's pause once more. The guy not only knows ball, but he could break down film as well. Meanwhile, you have someone like Donald Trump who doesn't even know who was playing in the Super Bowl and...
So I'm watching a game yesterday. What used to be considered a great tackle, a violent, head-on, violent. If that was done by Dick Butkus, it'd say he's the greatest player. If that were done by Lawrence Taylor, it was done by Lawrence Taylor and Dick Butkus. And Ray Nitschke, right? Ray Nitschke. Used to see these tackles, and it was incredible to watch, right? Now they tackle. Oh, head-on-head collision, 15 yards. The whole game is all screwed up. You say, wow, what a tackle. Bing, flag. Football's become soft. Football has become soft. Now, I'll be criticized for that. They'll say, oh, isn't that terrible? But football's become soft like our country has become soft. It's true.
Speaks like this, hilarious if you think about it, because he told CBS at one point that he would not be a big believer in his third son, Barron, playing football. I thought it was soft.
In high school, if you pull a guard, it pretty much know where the ball's going, and if
Yes.
you can teach kids to do that.
Like student body right, student body left, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone is tuning out.
Thank you for not allowing the yearbook to close on this chapter. I have to tell people this. So look, I did 24 years in the military. I was teaching, and then I started running for Congress. I'm absolutely convinced, and people have told me this, nuts, because you won that state championship.
Let's pause again. I need to put in perspective how improbable this was. Via Football Scoop, Mankato West had lost 27 straight at one point. They badly needed a fresh approach. There's no doubt about it. The Free Press's Chad Courier would write that the 99 season featured West losing 4 of its first 6, then rallied to win 8 consecutive. And winning state. It was the first state championship in their school's history. That is awesome.
When I took the job, they said, well, we're kind of struggling. We were 0-27. But I had some other coaches I worked with who were great guys. And we said, this is nonsense. Let's just turn this thing around. 3 years later, state champion. Now they're the state powerhouse.
You guys went from 0-27 to state champs in 3 years?
Yeah.
Years later, he'd say to high school coaches, I think that it's great preparation. This idea that you don't win on the night of the game, you win many months before. Everybody wants to win. Who wants to prepare to win? Who's thinking about it? Who's putting in the work? The work. Clearly, leadership is a quality of his. And there's many other examples as well. In 2018, the Star Tribune wrote that Walz flipped a deeply red district from, I believe, a 12-year Republican politician to blue because of the leadership that he possesses, the policies that he wants to pass and put forth to represent Minnesotans in D.C. At the time of his coaching, he was also a voice for the LGBTQ plus community. Jacob Wrighton, a student when Walz coached and taught, would say, there was no mandate to do this. It was one teacher saying, I know kids are suffering in the silent closet of fear and misunderstanding. What an important moment that was for me. This was also at a time when I believe a Dem president said same-sex marriage should be illegal. If someone is going against the grain and has this sort of track record, we need to look at them and see their qualities and what other qualities they may possess, because I believe that is the key that will open the locks to so many doors on why this was the correct pick. What's also pretty interesting, though, is his affinity for sports via front office sports. As the Timberwolves, Minnesota, started picking up speed in the playoffs, Walz posted a simple message, Naz Reid. Real ones know. Later in May, as fans latched on to Ant Edwards' viral Bring Ya A invitation to Charles Barkley. Basically, the long story short is Charles Barkley was like, oh, Minnesota, blah, 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 not that great. Minneapolis, not that great. You know, what's the food situation there? And Ant Edwards said that on Inside the NBA. Walz jumped on board, posting a suggestive eye emoji on social media when charged to make the phrase an official tourism slogan for the state. Walz followed up with an official proclamation of Wolves Back Day to mark the start of the Western Conference Finals, with the first letter of each line that was awesome. Spelling out Edwards' iconic line. Could it be Walz? Could it be his staff? Well, you surround yourself with good people either way. Margaret Fleming would write that although the Vikings' U.S. Bank Stadium was built prior to Walz' time in office, the state and city still owed $377 million in the public-private venture. This is important, because it's going to show something that I am certainly passionate about. I have applauded Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker for his stances on the Chicago White Sox trying to get into taxpayer funds in the city to help finance a new stadium, respectively, for both teams. And Pritzker has basically said there is no benefit whatsoever. The data, he basically said, I'm summarizing, the data has led me to believe that there is not a great benefit for society. So here's what Walz did. In May 2023, he signed a bill that allowed revenue from electronic pull tabs, which were approved with the intention of aiding stadium financing, but made more money than anticipated to pay off the debt. A move that saved Minneapolis taxpayers $226 million in interest. Walz also approved $15.7 million for a new 8-foot-tall security fence built around the stadium to replace the chain link one. The Vikings have asked for $62 million for more public funding in this year's legislative session because, of course, they have billionaires love socialism when it benefits them and hate it for everybody else. It's socialism for me, none for thee. Nonetheless, there are many other stories that we could get to about why Tim Walz is a fantastic pick. I end with how I began. I am shocked that they made the right decision. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports, and or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.